Calvinist election is rigged, Joe. Everyone knows it.
Donald, what are you talking about? Election in Calvinism is unconditional. That's like conditional, only upside down.
That's not how to define unconditional, Joe.
Obama is right. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Whenever anyone hears election, they automatically think of unconditional election, like how it is in Calvinism. But there are other ways of understanding election. For example, corporate election. Calvinists have rigged the system.
It's always about the corporations to you, Donald. We get it. You're a big shot CEO. Maybe you should try serving God instead of mammon.
Well, you're always falling asleep during Congress. You should wake up like Paul says in Ephesians 5:14.
That passage is about the dead, Donnie. Dead like a corpse, like Lazarus in the grave. Do you think a dead man can respond?
Of course they can, because it's figurative. The prodigal son was dead, but he walked home to daddy, didn't he? Of course you wouldn't know anything about walking. You can't even get up Air Force One without falling down the stairs.
That's a low blow, Donald. Low like your man-centered view of God.
Brethren, please.
Facts is facts. Romans 9 makes it clear that God does all the electing. You going to talk back to God with that big mouth of yours? Maybe send a nasty tweet?
I'm going to let that one slide, only because Elon Musk is a good friend of mine. A very good friend. Great business sense. But Paul in Romans 9 is making reference to Jeremiah 18. It has a potter and clay vessels and everything. Look it up, Sleepy Joe.
Did someone mention pot?
Not now, Barry.
Not only is the context there about nations, they get to choose how God uses them through their response. Biblical election is clearly conditional.
What's clear to me, Donnie, is that you just can't accept the truth about election, whether it's Romans 9 or January 6.
That's fake news, and you know it.
Fake like your orange skin tone, maybe.
Fam, let's stick to the scripture, please.
Look at 2 Timothy chapter 2. In verse 20 and 21, Paul uses the same analogy, vessels of honor and dishonor, just like in Romans 9. And Paul tells it plainly. It's our responsibility whether we become vessels of honor.
Medal of Honor, huh? I'm more of a Fortnite fan myself. I like to equip the cob skin. It's like a callback to the bravery I showed in facing down old corn pop.
Joe, we're in the middle of debating the Bible, remember?
Right, where was I?
Forgetting where you are is a huge problem for you, isn't it?
You, sir, have a reprobate mind. That's it, now I remember. God prepares some vessels for destruction. This is what we biblical Christians call unconditional reprobation. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Did someone say?
Not now.
You don't even need to flip to some other book in the Bible. Just keep reading to Romans 11. Verse 11, they didn't stumble so as to fall. You got that? And verse 23, Israel can be grafted back in. Based on what? Their response again. Now, I'm a great friend of Israel. Everyone knows that. But God is an even bigger friend of Israel. They may have stumbled, but God doesn't want them damned. So much for reprobation, Joe.
Donnie, you just hate God's sovereignty. Quit boasting that you saved yourself. Maybe if you stopped worshiping your free will, you could accept the plain reading of the text.
Yeah, well, the way you handle the text is like the way you handle young gear.
And that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to join us next time, where we'll be discussing the drawing in John 6.
I like drawing. Will we get crayons?